Hi, I'm Shauna J. Cerniak, founder of Every Woman Empowered, and alongside are my co-hosts,
Jani Gallardo, international artist, and Every Woman Empowered resident artist.
And Mila Janu, certified laughter yoga instructor, founder of Let's Laugh Yig, and happiness ambassador for Every Woman Empowered.
Welcome to
Chit Chat!
And today's special guest is golf celebrity and international speaker, Lisa Longball Vlooswyk. Welcome.
Hello, ladies. Hello. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for being a part of our show. Our golf fanatic viewers are going to be so excited to have you on. So
I can see one right there.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Huge. She's huge. Mila loves her golf. And speaking of women's golf, I heard that you now have a women's school of golf. Tell us about it.
Yes, I'm so proud of this. I started a women's golf school because I firmly believe in women helping women. And so I noticed I'm a golf entertainer at corporate and charity tournaments all across North America. And what I've seen is that 75 to 80% of the attendees at every one of these tournaments are men. And where are the women? The women are often back in the office doing the work while the guys are smartly doing the networking. And so I wanted to start a school to help women get corporate and charity golf tournament ready so they can say yes to that invitation. And then also to help women who just love this game so that they can hit it longer, straighter, better. So I run my schools in both Canada and the United States.
Wow.
Oh.
And where in Canada do you run your school?
Well, I run them typically when non-pandemic times, I run them in Calgary. I've got Victoria in Kelowna in British Columbia, also Toronto. And then right now I do have 2 schools in Quebec that are a go. So in August, so 2 in Quebec at Le Versant. And then in the winter time for February, I've got 2 schools in Orlando, Florida, and also in March in Phoenix, Arizona. And so my Canadians love it because then they can escape the winter to come work on their golf game.
No kidding. Wow.
That's sweet.
We're gonna have to
there may be wine. There may be wine at the school.
Don't you be talking dirty to me now, okay? That's great. Good job. I love it. Well, maybe we're going to have to go check it out. Hey, ladies?
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Road trip.
Yeah. Girls
Always. So I'm going to kind of start us all off. And my question is, how do you go from golfer to keynote speaker? Like, how did that all evolve? And just like tell us how that happened.
It's crazy. So I think that I started to. I'm a elementary school teacher actually by trade. I believe teaching is a vocation, a passion. That's probably why I love teaching golf so much as well. But so I started competing in long drive, and then I was invited out to corporate and charity golf tournaments to again help raise money on par 5s or teach clinics and so forth. And I was invited to come to the Oil Men's Golf Tournament. It was a very fancy golf tournament that went between Banff and Jasper each year with oil executives. And they said, Lisa, okay, we want you to do a clinic. We want you to do entertain on our 18-hole tournament. And we'd like you to be the keynote speaker. Do you do that? And I was like, and I didn't do that, but I was like, yes, of course I do that. And sometimes it's fake it till you make it, right?
Absolutely.
And so I worked so hard to prepare a killer keynote where I share my story of going from a high handicap recreational golfer to rank number 2 in the world. And I received a standing ovation. It was a motivational speech, and it's developed into this wonderful keynote that I entitled Drive Determines Distance, because I truly believe knowing and being committed to what drives you determines how far you will go, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And like you
I think you would be very exciting to watch.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I have fun up there. That's the one thing. I think that we learn best through storytelling. Like I think that when you have that math teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know, Bueller, I'm not that boring presenter. You know, I'm up there, I'm sharing stories, and that's how I like to impart the lessons. And we have some fun, right? And I think that's what helps make those teachable moments memorable.
Right.
Absolutely.
No kidding.
Earlier, you'd said that golf is a very male-dominated sport. I'm wondering, have you ever experienced any sexual harassment, and how did you kind of deal with it and gain the respect of those male peers?
You know what? That's a great question. It's funny because I would go to these tournaments, and as I said, 75 to 80% of the attendees were men, and I would be stationed on a par 5. And as they came around, they'd see me blasting 300-yard bombs, and they would notice I have a slightly longer golf shaft that in my driver. It's legal, definitely legal, but longer than what a standard maybe gentleman or golf shaft would look like. And so the guys would ask me about it, and I said, I said, actually, I use an extra stiff shaft. And if I had $1, ladies, for every time some guy said to me, oh, hey, Lisa, you want to see an extra stiff shaft? Now what I learned very quickly is not to laugh at that, because if you laugh at it, it's saying that it's okay. Now, what I would often do is I'd go, oh, yes, it's an extra stiff shaft. It's 47.5 inches long. I said, it's made from titanium, and I would go into the whole, equipment side of things. And then they would often just let it go because they thought, oh, she missed it. She didn't get it. So that's often how I started with it. But there's been a few times that I've had gentlemen be very, very inappropriate. And I think that what's important as women, and I've become, the older I get, the more confident I have become. Right. And as these incidents have happened, I've actually, I keep it very professional. And, I'll mention at the time that I don't appreciate that comment. And if it continues, which it has before, I'll go to the tournament director afterwards and I'll say, look, I'm lucky, to be an entrepreneur, that I get to pick where I get to work. And I've said to at least 2 different tournaments, I said, if he's back next year, I'm not. So you make the choice, but I'm not coming back if he's here, because, and both tournament directors actually sent letters to the golfer and told them they were no longer welcome at the tournament. Because you know what, ladies, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. We can't put up with it, and we have to stand up for ourselves.
100%.
And especially for yourself. I mean, that, like you said, you're in a predominant male, sport industry. Yeah. And it's usually in those situations, that's where women really get caught into that bowl, into that. Like, I was in a male predominant industry. I was in the insurance and investment field for over 15 years. Exact same thing. And, it's about taking that higher road, which is exactly what you did. Not going into it, which is exactly what you did. Ignoring them and dismissing them, and they're thinking, oh, she didn't get it.
She didn't get it. When really, I'm taking the high road. Although I will say, one of the really inappropriate times, I finally said to the gentleman, I said, how would you like it if someone spoke to your wife or daughter that way? And that kind of gave him a look on his face, because he thinks, I'm here with the buddies. We're having some cold ones. We're golfing. Right. Yeah, there's some chick on the tee box here. I'm going to razz her. And it's like, you have to remember, I'm someone's daughter and I'm someone's mom. And so if you don't want your wife or daughter spoken to that way, maybe you should think twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having some fun and joking around.
Totally. And I definitely am. But there comes a limit. And I definitely am not that prude or, I give some latitude, but then there comes to be a time that it's inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick question. As you were working up into the ranks of your status, did you also experience some, harassment or anything?
I'm pretty lucky. And I think the reason I'm lucky is because as a long driver, I had a lot of men that actually respected my talent. So I was the first woman to ever hit it over 3.5 NFL football fields in competition. So over 350 yards. And so I think a lot of guys were really, they were curious and they respected me then as an athlete. So I think I was luckier than many women because I could tee it up with the boys. I could play 7,100 yards and keep up. And so I think that helped me. But I would say it would be more in those charity tournament situations. Keynote speaking, I have never ever encountered that in a keynote speaking role. It was more on the golf course, unfortunately.
Makes sense.
And as COVID's bringing a whole other group of people to the sport, hopefully that's not an issue. But what advice do you have for these brand new golfers just starting out?
Oh, for any golfers, COVID has been a wonderful, kickstart for golf, because golf was the first safe social distancing sport. And so for all the newcomers that have come, and there's been a worldwide demand for golf courses and equipment because people are excited to be out there. The first thing I would say, get out there and have fun. Sometimes I have a 14-year-old boy and he gets frustrated when he hits a poor shot. And I'm like, hey, you're not a pro. no, don't worry about it. It's about having fun, and it's the camaraderie. The second thing I would definitely say, take lessons. So definitely, if you're in Canada, take lessons from PGA of Canada professionals. If you're abroad, PGA of America or wherever you may be, there's always certified instructors, because you know what, you're going to enjoy the game so much more if you have that advice. And unfortunately, even if you have a friend that's a really good golfer, single digit handicap, unfortunately, because they're not an instructor, they may still have some poor swing thoughts that they don't even realize that they're passing on to you. So having proper instruction will make the game way more fun.
And even just a lesson or two will just make all the difference.
For sure, absolutely. And you know what, if you can't afford one right now, or perhaps it's hard for you to get to course, go check YouTube. You know, I just did a series of 11 lessons for Golftown. So if you go to, my YouTube channel, Lisa Longball, under playlists, I have all these free instructional videos, and there's great content on YouTube. Just make sure you're seeking out a professional, and then start there, because that's a great way if affordability is an issue, or if you can't get to a course or see a pro.
That's awesome.
And you mentioned Golftown. They chose you to be the spokesman for them, and you're a middle-aged mom. What significance does that have for you? And like, how is that hoping to inspire others with that?
I think it's huge. You know, Golftown is Canada's largest golf retailer. Their very first sponsored athlete was Brooke Henderson. Golftown could sponsor any PGA Tour player, Champions Tour player. Who did they pick as their first athlete? Brooke Henderson, who is just absolutely phenomenal. I think she's going to be obviously in the World Golf Hall of Fame one day. I think she could be one of the greatest golfers of all time. She's that good. And then I was the second athlete. And as you said, middle-aged mom, you know, and here Golftown believes in women as athletes. That's by sponsoring me, that's truly what they believe, that as women, it doesn't matter if we're moms or grandmas, that we are athletes at any point. And to me, I think that speaks volumes to corporate Canada, to say, get out there, you know what, and support the ladies, and they're doing that. And here, golf is a male dominated profession, and we were the first two athletes that they sponsored.
That's amazing.
Wow. Right? Doesn't
Good
that
on
speak
Golftown.
volumes?
Really makes a statement, for sure.
It really does.
No kidding. Right on. Good. Way to go, Golftown.
Yeah. We'll link Golftown in our notes here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, and that's why, you know, what's cool is the whole reason that they sponsored me. They're the whole reason they wanted to bring me, and I was in the middle of doing it pre-pandemic, to all 47 stores across Canada to offer free golf clinics for women, just to help women feel more comfortable and more comfortable and confident on the golf course. And so again, that's putting your money where your mouth is.
No kidding. No kidding. And you know, it's interesting that you say that, because I've golfed many a times, and I have to say I drive a better golf cart than I do, you know, actually golfing. So I always felt that I need to be the one to go get the drinks for everybody, because I didn't feel confident enough. And you just given me some really good tips, like to just go check out YouTube and
absolutely,
you know, do some my own little practicing, and then eventually get someone to teach me. So thank you for that.
And then especially the insurance industry, that industry is huge for golf as a business networking skill.
Yeah. I was either sponsoring booze holes, or I was driving the golf cart for everybody and just hanging out. So yes,
I believe it. Well, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so would you rather a 1 hour lunch with your client or customer, or 4.5 hours on the golf course?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Totally.
Yeah.
There was a couple times that I got to participate in some charity golf tournaments at my last job, because my boss actually didn't golf. So I would take his spot. Nice. And I'm like, the first day that I got to do this, I'm thinking to myself, I'm getting paid to golf in a charity golf tournament. Like, that does not get better than this. Yeah.
Exactly. And getting your name out there to the clients and customers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess we have the last question, Jenny.
Well, I don't know if we should ask my usual question, or if we should ask the one that.
Well, I want to know, before you ask your usual question, about where's her favorite golf hole, golf course. Where's your favorite golf hole?
That is, but you know what? I do have favorite golf holes. You know, one of my favorite golf holes is in British Columbia at Panorama's course, or it's located near Panorama ski resort called Grey Wolf. And it's the hole is the 6th hole called Cliffhanger. So I definitely have a favorite hole. That is truly one of my favorite golf holes in the world. As for my favorite course, of course, being a born and raised Albertan, I'm going to have to go with Heritage Point. So that's my home course here in Calgary. And it's a 27-hole facility. And it's 3 distinctive 9s because I love trying to mix it up and not playing the same 18 over and over. So it's kind of fun to mix it up, kind of having a desert layout. And then the Point and the Heritage are more elevated tee shots and greens. And then I love this 3-hole loop. So for any beginners or females that are just getting started, it's a great place to practice and a great place to not feel pressured by playing 9 or 18 holes. And it's called the loop, and it's all at Heritage Point.
Ooh,
Neela's eyes, I think, were just getting bigger and bigger as we were talking about it.
Well, Grey Wolf is definitely one of my top 3 favorite courses.
It is.
It's pretty. It's so pretty out there.
It really
personally, I don't golf. My husband used to. So, yeah, I've been out there. It's pretty awesome. So, our last question is a very serious question.
Okay.
So, if you were an ice cream, what flavor would you be and why?
Okay, if I were an ice cream, I would have to say the flavor I would choose is bubblegum. Now, when I say bubblegum, I'm talking old school bubblegum, the one that was blue where you'd find the little bits of bubblegum in it, and then I would take them out and save them in my napkin. And the reason I would pick that one is because I think that for me, I've got 2 different sides of me. I think so many people just see me as a golfer, and that would be my the blue ice cream part that's sweet and fun and out there. But I also like the bubblegum part because you know what? There's so much more to me. There's so much more to me, which is being a mom. I'm so proud to be a mom, and I'm so proud to volunteer in my community. I'm actually the first female board member for the Hockey Alberta Foundation. Now, I can't skate backwards to save my life, but I volunteer for that because I see the joy that hockey has brought my family through my son. So you know what? I definitely think I'm bubblegum because I've got the sweetness and I've got that side, but I've got lots of extras too.
And you wakeboard and all these crazy outfits.
My wake surfing. I do love my wake surfing videos. Over the pandemic, I tried to do something to make people laugh and smile. I thought there was so much negativity on social media. So I do these wake surfing videos, and so many people think they're green screened or fake, but nope, that's me out there on that surfboard. And I might have another one coming up for the Calgary Stampede.
We'll definitely keep an eye